Okay, we're going to go over the Zorin system, which in my opinion is the best system to replace Windows 10 on the new Windows 10 computers that are written in UEFI mode instead of legacy. And um, I love it. I absolutely love it. It's safe, it's effective, it's written by Linux, who also developed the Android system for the phones and tablets and the Google Chromebook system. This system does not require an antivirus. Don't let anybody talk you into installing one. Anyway, let's get to it. Okay, as you see this screen, then you're looking at something that looks very similar to Windows 7. Okay, just like Windows 7, there is a start ball down in the lower left-hand corner, and in Zorin, it's the Z. Okay, you'll click on the Z, okay, and a pop-up menu will appear. On the left side of the pop-up, where my cursor is moving up and down, you will see categories. These categories contain all your programs individually, whereas on Windows it just lists the programs individually. Okay, the categories, once you get used to this difference, is really a good thing to have and easy to use. Like if I want to do any kind of publishing, I'll click on graphics. Okay, and I've got all my publishing and writing programs in the category. Okay, I'll go back, which is at the bottom there, and I'll go to, say, I want to do sound and video. All my sound and video programs are in that category and really easy to find. I have a lot of them because I did the Zorin 12.4 Ultimate that comes with the most used, most downloaded programs for the system out of software. And there's a lot of programs that I don't even know what they are right now. But I leave them on there so that later on, if I want to learn them, try them, use them, then I have them. I don't have to download them again. Okay, so then we go to the right side and you have your normal files like in Windows that are user files. Okay, the home button contains everything on this computer in one place, and some of the stuff you do not want to mess with, like that folder snap. Okay, and so I suggest you stay out of the home folder. You can get the things through the other ones. We'll go back to the menu. Okay, so you have documents, downloads, music, pictures, videos, and just like in Windows 7. Okay, so I'm going to go to the downloads folder. Okay, and I've got two pictures in there right now that I've downloaded that I was using for something. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to decrease the size of this window. Okay, if I go up to the upper right hand corner, you'll see an X and then you'll see two arrows facing each other. And that if you click on that, it will minimize the screen. Okay, this screen I want to make a little bigger, so I'll put my cursor on the edge of it and you'll see this arrow form, and then I'll just pull it down a little bit. That way I'm showing on the left all the different locations that I can use. Okay, so what I want to do, the safest way to save your files or move your files is to copy and paste. And this is a way I tell everybody to do it. That way you won't lose a file somewhere in the computer. And what I'll do is I'll take and put my cursor on one of the files. This can be a document, a picture, a video, whatever. Okay, and then I will right click and, oops, hang on a second. Okay, then what I'll do is right click on it and I'll choose on the drop down menu copy, and then I'll click copy. Okay, then I'll go to, say I want to move it to the documents folder to include it with some documents related to it. So I'll put my cursor on documents. Okay, I will right click on documents. Oop, I move it over a little. Oh, I will right click on documents and Oh, wait a minute. Sorry about that. What I'll do is I will open up the Documents folder by clicking on it. Okay, now you see the Documents folder. In there, pick a blank spot in the folder and right-click and click Paste. Okay, now we have the file in there that I just put in, this one right here. Okay, so if I want to go back to pictures to make sure it's still in there, the way Zorin works is over here on the left-hand side top bar where my cursor's moving is the path. Okay, and you'll see several different things on that path at different times, but right now you see what's there. We're in Documents folder. Okay, so I'll go over and click this back arrow. Okay, and that takes me to Downloads. Okay, back to where I was, and there's my picture right there in Downloads also. So now that I know that it's in Documents, then I will right click and I will go down to Move to Trash. In the Windows environment, you are used to the word delete. In Zorin, it is Move to Trash. And I will left click on that, and it gives me a chance to undo it if I did something by accident, but I'm fine. So it'll either go away or you can click the X. Okay, so now I have moved my picture from downloads that I downloaded into my documents file. If I open up documents on the left, there's the picture that I moved. Okay, this is very useful. You can do this with pictures and documents like PDFs or Microsoft documents that you download from a email or something or whatever, and that way you can store them where you can always find them and use them. Anyway, enough of that. Okay, now we'll go to we'll skip down to settings here. Okay, if you're setting up a new system or want to change a setting on the computer, then this is your control panel as it's called in the Windows environment. So you'll click on settings. There's your settings. Okay, now you'll need this to hook up to Wi-Fi for the first time. So let's do that now. Okay, I'm going to find the network symbol, which is the blue ball with the global symbol in it, and I'm going to click on network. And when I do this, all the Wi-Fi networks in your area will show up, and you need to pick yours. Okay, so you go down, you find the name of yours, and you click on it. Okay, mine's already been connected up to this network, so I just connected up to it. And you'll see a check mark next to it. But when you're hooking up, okay, here's a network I didn't do yet. So we'll click on the network. It will ask for a password. Okay, this password is not the X or the normal password that you have to authorize things. This is the password for your Wi-Fi network. Okay, so I don't really want to hook up to this, but what you'll do is you'll put your Wi-Fi password or passphrase, whatever you want to call it, in that box right here. You click on it first, and then you can type in it. Okay, when you're done, you'll go right down here to connect. Okay, so when it connects, okay, you can see it, the little thing going around. Okay, then there'll be a check mark next to it which says that this is a network that's going to open up the next time you use your computer. You don't have to do this every time unless you want to hook up to a new network. Say you're down at McDonald's or somewhere. Okay, this little tornado or cone or funnel symbol or whatever says that you're hooked up, and you can see it down here on the favorites bar. Okay, when this looks like a tornado or a funnel, then that means you are hooked to the internet and you're done with that. Okay, now I'm going to go back to the settings menu. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up here to the back arrow, and I'm going to click on the back arrow. I'm back in settings. Okay, there are several settings that you may want to mess with, and you can play with these things. Just don't get yourself in trouble where you can't get back to them. Okay, Zorin appearance. I'll open this one and I will see formats of how I want to see my desktop. Okay, the one that I chose right now is the one that looks the most like Windows 7. I like it, so that's what I'm going to leave it on, but you can click on other ones and they'll change your screen. Like if we clicked on this one, okay, then the whole appearance changes, and it's just whatever you want to do with it. See, this one puts a different bar on the other side and so on and so forth. But I prefer to use this first one. I like it. Okay, next I will go to the top bar of this window and I will hit theme. Okay, now I like to use the dark theme because I'm sitting next to a window and I got a lot of glare on it, and it allows me to see my things in the windows a little easier. Most people like the light setting, which I will switch it back to for making this video because it shows up really nice. But if I put it on the dark theme, and you see what comes up, and this is the way everything will show. All your lettering and everything will show up like this, and it'll be like lights. Okay, so, and it's a lot easier to see if you have glare on your computer screen or things like that, or if your eyes are starting to hurt and you just want to make it easier on them, you can go to the dark theme. So I'm going to go back to the light theme, and I like this color because it's easy on the eyes. If you use something like this, it'll get to you. Anyway, you can pick whatever you want. Okay, now what I'll do is I will scroll down. It says other. Okay, so you got your application, all that. You don't need to mess with that part of it. Okay, but one thing that I didn't show you is if I go back to the desktop, okay, we have those formats, but if you scroll down, okay, then you'll see all these icons you can put on your desktop. Well, you don't need the home one on there because you're not going to be messing around in the home very often as a basic user, and you don't want to either. Okay, you're going to want the trash one, and you're going to want the mounted volumes. Okay, the mounted volumes are they'll put an emblem on your computer when you plug in an external device like a CD player, a flash drive, an external hard drive, or whatever. Okay, you don't want network servers. This will confuse you. This is for like a network office environment, or cash registers, things like that. You don't want to mess with it. You don't want it on your desktop at all. So just trash and mounted volumes. Okay, and you don't need to mess with the fonts. You can change your fonts and everything to look like all kinds of different things, like cursive writing, whatever. Anyway, and then the panel, you don't need to mess around in the panel at all. Okay, you really don't. Not as a basic user. It has settings on there that you may not be able to find your way back to change them back when you don't like them. So I wouldn't mess with the panel at all. So let's go to the right. We'll click the X, get out of that window. Click the X, get out of that window. Okay, now we're back to the control panel or all settings. Okay, if you have Bluetooth on your computer built in, or have an external, what's called a dongle, which is in a Bluetooth antenna, then you can Bluetooth the computer to phones or phones to the computer to play music through it or whatever you like to do. Okay, if you're going to hook up your computer to your television to watch movies or use as display purposes, then you'll click on displays after you have the other device plugged in. If you click on displays now, you will come up with one display, but it'll show another display once you hook up to the external display like the television or whatever, and that will include other settings, which is going to be a different video altogether. So we'll go back to settings. We'll click the back arrow again. Go back to settings. Okay. You can modify the mouse and touchpad settings here. It's just like the settings windows. Okay, one of the other things I do when setting up the computer is I go to the power button. I open power. Okay, I don't like my screen to dim when I go to do something else and come back to it. So by default, this thing's turned on and looks like this. Okay, I shut it off. Okay, then the next thing I don't like is the blank screen coming up where you have to log in again. Okay, so what I did, and what I'll show you is there's a line underneath the setting. Okay, and there's a little triangle or arrow right there to the right of it. You'll click on that, okay, and you go down to I set mine as never. And I click on never, and never appears in the thing, and so it will not go black on me. Okay, you don't need to mess with any of the other settings whatsoever because they don't affect any computers nowadays. You can if you want. I don't like to have it automatically suspend. I don't want it to shut off my Wi-Fi to save power because most of the time I use my computer, I use Wi-Fi. Mobile broadband, I don't want it to shut off that either to save power. It won't use a lot of power anyway. My screen brightness, I always keep it up all the way. Okay, and you can change this in the power to where you can see it dim like this. If it's getting to your eyes or something like that, that setting is in the power window. Anyway, that's enough of that. Okay, we'll go back. And the only other setting you need to deal with right now is date and time. Okay, on your computer, you can see down at the right-hand corner of my favorites bar is the time in AM and PM. Okay, by default, Zorin comes with the time in military time or 24-hour time. Okay, so we're going to click on date and time, and if you want the AM and PM, you click on the little triangle right where my cursor is moving, and you choose AM PM. If you're on military time and you like military time, then you pick 24-hour and click on it. I like AM PM. I'm just used to it. Okay, now that's all we need to mess with there. Okay, click back arrow. Okay, if you want the default, or if you want the details of the computer, there's this detail thing. But there is something that you can do in that window that is really nice. Okay, so we'll open up details. Okay, and in details, it shows your system and all the information and everything on the right, but on the left, it shows some settings. Okay, and if I click on default applications, okay, say like what I just did this morning is I made an MP4 video which requires an additional file on the normal video player that comes with Zorin. Okay, I like to have my videos play through the VLC media player as it has all formats, it works flawlessly, it's just a really nice program. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll click on default applications. I will go down to video, which is right here where my cursor is going around it. Okay, it's already set to that. Normally it'll be set to video player. Okay, so to change this, all you do is click on that little arrow or triangle to the right of the line underneath of it, and it gives you your options on playing videos. Okay, so I chose the VLC media player, which in the core version, I think you have to download that from software, but I'll go over that in a minute. Anyway, I choose the VLC media player, okay, and you can do things with removable media, which I don't have anything plugged in, but there's settings on what to do. I don't usually mess with these, you don't need to. So we're done with that. Okay, and then we've got the, Universal access is for handicap, for vision and sound, and you can make adjustments to the computer for that. And if you go to users, that's you. Okay, users is the user. Okay, and you open that up. Okay, and you'll see account type and so on and so forth. Okay, this is where you can change your password. And like, I want to log in automatically without having to put in a password when I start my computer. So first thing you have to do is you have to unlock this box. Okay, up at the top it says unlock. That means if you want to unlock it, you got to press this button. It doesn't mean the state that it's in right now. Okay, so you click on unlock. Okay, it's going to ask for your general password that you put in at the beginning. Okay, and basically on mine, it's the X I use. Okay, then I'll go down, I'll click authenticate, or I will hit enter. Okay, that unlocks this. Okay, if I want to change my password, I mouse over to put my mouse on the password and I click. Okay, and it'll ask you to give your current password. Then you type in your new password. Then you verify your new password, and you have your new password. The only thing is with this that I found out is you basically have to put it in their format if you want to change your password, which involves a whole bunch of symbols, numbers, letters, everything else. And if it's not correct, then you won't get your new password. I went through this the first time and it was crazy and I thought it just didn't work. But then I figured it out through videos and help files and all. And we don't want to do it. You know, if you want to change your password, you can. If you want a super secure computer, then you're going to get a super secure password that you're going to have to really remember or have right by you to be able to type in. So I leave this one alone. Okay, so I'm going to hit cancel on this. Okay, and and it shows the user. You can actually create new users and things like that. But I don't do it. I like one user on here, keeps things less complicated, and if somebody else is going to be using my computer, then I guess they can, you know. But if they're using my computer, I don't want them storing their files on my computer. So then, unless they make their own folders with their name on it. I like to keep it simple, one user thing. I know everything that's going on in my computer. Anyway, we'll go back and we're basically done with what you need to know right now with the starting to use Zorin. Okay, now another thing you might want to do, like I'm using a headset right now to do this video. Okay, in Zorin it does not automatically switch to your display or your sound. Okay, so with sound, I've got a microphone and headset with an earpiece on it. Okay, so in order to make my video and have the sound show up, I have to go to sound first, and it shows the built-in speakers, and then it shows my device. Okay, so I have to click on my device. Okay, and then it will go and use my headphones. Okay, then for the microphone, I hit input, and you can see that the microphone's working because it's selected. Okay, so, but it'll by default say microphone built-in audio, and I will have to click on my headset, and then it will start using the mic from my headset. Then what you want to do is do a test video or something to make sure that you have your volume right for what you're doing. Okay, and we can go all over that later. I'm going to make a thing on a video on making instruction videos on Zorin, which is really cool. It really is. Anyway, I'm going to go back to the control panel, as it's called in Windows, all settings, and we're done with that. Oh well, I guess like mouse and keypad, you can speed up or slow down your mouse or reverse the keys or whatever you want to do there and test your settings. Okay, so I like them where they're at by default, so I don't mess with it. Anyway, we'll shut that off. And now we will go to the internet and we'll use Chromium. Open up Chromium. It takes a minute to load sometimes. And we're back there, and I think that I've done everything in this that I want to go through right now until I make the video Chrome. You basically know how to use this stuff. Anyway, I'm going to make a video for beginners into Chrome and Firefox, two separate videos on how to use the web browser and how to use some of the nice functions in it. But for now, you know, you have what you have. Most people don't want to learn how to do all that other stuff. So we've got Chrome, and I always download Firefox from the software section. You always want to download your programs through software because all the installation settings are precise and 90% of the time the programs work. The only time they don't seem to work is if somebody's written them for another distro or system that Linux makes. They make many of them. They make Mint, they make Ubuntu, they make a lot of them. And if it's not written for that, you just uninstall it and try something else. But Firefox is great. And I'm going to do a video on how to download and install and set up Firefox at a future date. So, and even the people that know how to use Firefox, you may want to watch the video because there may be a couple things in there as far as the setting goes that you might want to change in your browser to keep it from having pop-ups and doing all kinds of funky little things. But anyway, I keep Firefox on there because it has some nice add-ons that Chrome won't allow. Okay, one of them is the Easy YouTube Video Downloader, and that places a button in the window when you open up a YouTube video that will allow you to download that video in a format that you choose. Okay, I like to do this because sometimes I want to keep instructional video handy on my computer if I don't have internet or whatever to watch later, like, well, to fix my car. All you do is type in the model, make and model number of the car, and then the question after it, and videos will show up, sometimes hundreds, of how to do what you want to do with it by expert people showing you the order in which to do things so that you don't get in trouble. I work on my car this way. You know, I watch the video and then I'll go do it, and if it's something real complicated, I'll set the darn computer on the fender or right on the seat and keep the door open, and then I'll just refer back to the video to do each thing. It's really nice, and you can type in a question in YouTube or your browser that will show you about how to do anything there is to do, period. And so I like that, but I'm going to go to YouTube, and I think I have it installed in this, and if not, I'll show you how to install it. But let's go to YouTube and we'll see if the button's there. Okay, so we're at YouTube, and I don't like a lot of these new things that they put on here. So I'm going to go to, say, a movie I want to watch, and I want to watch it later. So I'm going to go to Westerns, replace um, fuel pump, see what comes up. Okay, so here's how to replace a fuel pump in your car. Let's see if it'll do that one. Okay, so while the video's playing, Then I will click download as, and oh, they stopped you from doing it. Okay, I just did all this. Let's try a music video. This is really weird. I think they just did this the last couple days. So we'll put down country music. I'm going to test this sucker. Is this going good? I'm going to